Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right?
GM, and welcome back to the channel. We have some bullish selling in the market to discuss today. We have the distribution of Mt. Gox tokens. We've also got the minor capitulation and the signal from the hash ribbons now popping off. And of course, we have ETH ETF flows from day one to look at as well, and a bit of meme action at the end. So stay tuned and let's jump in. So what is bullish selling, or at least what does it mean when you have forced sellers in the markets or a lot of supply coming to market and price not really doing much? Well, that is a bullish cocktail in my humble opinion. So yesterday, post filming yesterday, we had the distribution of Mt. Gox funds, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash going to Kraken accounts. So it seems that anyone who chose Kraken as their trusted recipient of their funds has received said funds. And there was a bit of a sell-off during this phase. However, if you just look at this, sell-off yesterday, down a couple K from the highs here, but it's picked back up again today. We're above 66.4 right now, which is pretty damn incredible considering this is the big boogeyman left in the closet. After this, there's not really any other gray clouds as far as I can see. So I think this is a real strong signal from the market that we're going to be pushing higher very, very soon. So Kraken Mt. Gox, funds on the move. If we just look at this data from Arkham, a total of $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin were moved to wallets this morning. It looks like Bitstamp is now getting quite a bit of distribution. And Mt. Gox still holds around 80,000, but if you remember, that was over 140,000 and change not too long ago. So quite a few of these coins have made their way to where they're going, but not a huge amount of impact here. And as you can see from this, Bitstamp is one of the 5 exchanges that Mt. Gox Trustees is working with. And they sent 10,000 BTC to them specifically this morning. Now, on this list, it doesn't specify which address is Kraken, but I imagine maybe it is one of the larger ones. Seeing quite a few takes online from people saying they've just sold their Bitcoin Cash and then converted it immediately into more Bitcoin. And it would seem from some of this data, such as this one here. So if you just look at this yellow line here, this is the outflows of Bitcoin from Kraken itself. So as you can see, from around 4 p.m. yesterday, this went up like a skyrocket. So what we're taking from this is coins were moved to this exchange for the creditors, and the creditors are withdrawing them. So the quote from the guys at CryptoQuant: significant increase in BTC withdrawals from Kraken after the affected Mt. Gox users started receiving their Bitcoin. This could be a positive signal indicating that they are not selling. They're prepared to hold their coins, moving them from the exchanges to their own cold wallets. That is what that would suggest. A lot of funds being moved off of this exchange where previously there would have been inflows as those coins came to this market. This is the kind of update. There's a cool balance bot here, Mt. Gox balance bot, which is tracking things on Twitter, which is really helpful. Total balance of all known Mt. Gox addresses, 80,000 BTC, and 61,500 have been moved away from these known addresses thus far, i.e., those 60,000 coins have made their way back, it would seem, to the rightful owners. So we've had 60,000 worth of Bitcoin distributed, and you can't really see where that would be on the chart. So that, to me, is bullish. Now, in terms of on-chain fundamentals for Bitcoin, I like 2 things that Charles Capriol here created: the hash ribbons and also the Bitcoin production cost. But the hash ribbons have now flashed their blue buy signal. So one back here, that was in August of 23, and another one has just flashed off again today. So essentially what this means is, and we get this after each and every halving, it signals minor capitulation, and then the blue dot comes once that is over. So the amber line here you can see is where miners are capitulating, which is, obviously part of the downtrend. We can't blame all of this solely on Germany selling their Bitcoin, but of course the way they were selling it was not in a very capital efficient way, let's say the least there. But we've had some minor capitulation. So post halving, the amount of Bitcoin given as block rewards goes down by half. So this means that the less efficient crypto miners out there can typically no longer afford to run. They maybe can afford to run at a loss for a small period of time, but if Bitcoin price doesn't double quickly, they are forced out of business. This means they have to sell inventory, close up shop, and you have these minor capitulations. We had a really long one, to be fair. So this goes back to around the 15th of May all the way through till just yesterday. Minor capitulation ongoing, the weak miners leaving, and now that seemingly has stopped. So this is typically the launch pad for a big leg up. Now, there have been 19 previous blue hash ribbon buy signals flashed, 16 of which we've never revisited the prices from which we posted the low just before. So this would mean that on the chart, the low down here, where Germany sold off somewhere around 54K, was the actual ultimate low. And if we stay true to 16 of 19 and we make that 17 of 20, that would mean Bitcoin would never revisit those prices again. That would be just a pico low on the chart for the 4-year cycle. And each 4-year cycle, we make our way onwards and upwards. So this is what Crown posted a little bit earlier, showing you the buy signals, the lows just before in the reds. As you can see, these buy signal just came in and he says, look, for the bullas, we have an average move time from here of around 64 days and an average increase in Bitcoin price of around 60 odd percent, the lowest move being around 40%. So 60% on the price point from when he's actually marked off here puts us into like 93, 94K region. And even if it's a 40% on the low side of things here, we're still going to be pushing into the 80K regions. And he imagines that this is going to be within the next 2 months. So pretty incredible times, very bullish structure here, a lot of positive things flowing in favor of the bulls. Then we have Ethereum, which is chopping about in here, hopefully just going to be putting in a nice base for a big move higher. But yesterday we saw some major volume for the Ethereum ETF. Over $1 billion worth of trade took place, and the total inflow overall has come in at around $106 million there. So a lot of assets changing hands. And as you can see from this, Grayscale's trust, ETH lost $484 million, which is rather incredible. Apparently that is 5% of the actual holdings. Their total holdings in that trust were swept away yesterday. So that's the one with a big fee, 2.5%. And so it's not surprising people don't want to pay 2.5% fees and get taxed like hell. So they've moved, potentially, this would have been a flow out from Grayscale and into some of these others. So that could be some of the movements. Now, for them to lose 5% from day one, that is pretty damn incredible. Maybe we're going to get a bit of a rip the band-aid off quick solution with this one. And the investors who want to leave this trust here will just move elsewhere. So as Eric Balchunas posted, if you take the new 8 ETFs there, they drew in $590 million worth of ETH. Compared to Bitcoin, they drew in 720 mil on their first day. And yesterday you saw these numbers from BlackRock, which are pretty incredible. BlackRock's BTC inflows, 581 million, and their ETH inflows, $265 million. So people are saying, look, why has price not gone up? We've had over $100 million worth of inflows. Well, from doing some research, it seems that maybe some of the OTC desks would have been stockpiling the ETH ready for this. Obviously, the institutions are coming to you and saying we need some inventory. They had it on tap. So this would mean that maybe if we get a few days of positive flows, once the OTC desks are run dry, then they're going to have to go to open markets. And apparently there's not too much left on exchanges, as we've seen from stats in the previous week. And so we are gearing up for something big, in my opinion. Then for the chart enthusiasts out there and moon boys, we have Path, who has come out with some big price targets on his charts here. So Path is Kobe's mate. You might have seen him on Up Only in previous years, but he's saying, if we just look at like kind of him pretty much saying this is going to be the top for the cycle here, 250K for Bitcoin, then a bit of a retrace over the coming couple years, somewhere down to like 140s, back up to 250s, then some horrendous capitulation. But for ETH, he's saying somewhere in the region of 17 to 25K as a top, which I think is towards the end of 2025 there, which is pretty damn incredible. And then into the future, 100K per Ethereum. So if you are struggling for bullishness, maybe come and look at Path's charts here. Then with the Ethereum ETF going live, ETH beta in the terms of meme coins, we have MOG here, which is still looking pretty damn good. A little bit of a sell-off here, but as you can see, retesting the previous highs here at around 1900, somewhere in that region, 1900, coming back down. I think this one's going to leg up again. And then there's a lot of perps traders on Crypto Twitter who are saying that Pepe is about to fly. After a consolidation of over a week in this kind of range, it would seem that maybe Pepe's time to shine is coming up here. So I think generally if people don't get big returns from ETH, which we haven't really seen in the market as of yet, then they're probably likely to want to punt the meme coins anyway. But if ETH does well, typically the meme coins have been outperforming as well. So your likes of Pepe's and MOGs, pretty damn good bets in my opinion. So that's the updates from today. Hope you enjoyed this one. Subscribe if you're new. See you in the next one. Peace.